Okay. Hi, chick. Hi. Do you see yourself?
Is it home?
Hi. Hi, what are you doing, sweet girl? Wow, it's so sunny over there. Oh, kiss. Mwah. Her front teeth are so perfect.
Cheese. Show her your teeth. Where are your teeth?
Oh, wow. Just my daily FaceTime. I'm back, the headless YouTuber doing headless plenty things with my trusty Pug Pudge. Oh, where's my trusty Pug Pudge? With my trusty Pug Pudge down here somewhere. Back with another video. I'm just gonna get straight into it because today is a day. My upstairs neighbors are getting their AC installed, so you might be hearing some things up there, but probably not. I feel like you guys never hear half of the things that I tell you I can hear, but it's very loud for me. So just keep that in mind if you do hear it for whatever reason. I did have another video planned for this Wednesday, but I got my booster on Tuesday and my arm is still feeling very sore. I can't lift it any higher than this. So I figure doing stuff with propagations is probably gonna be the best for me in terms of filming since they're so tiny. But yeah, like the title says, today I'm just giving a little bit of TLC to my propagations that I feel I have been neglecting for a very long time. I've just sort of put them on the back burner. But today is the day that we get some of them cleaned up. I think maybe I'll get some potted and just kind of see how we're doing with things. I have a whole bunch of props here. I do have some in my tent and I'm gonna try to get through all of them today, but we'll see how much I can get done with my arm because it feels like it got hit with a bulldozer. But anywho, yeah, getting straight into it, I'm just going to start with this HOYA OBOVATA that I brought home from California not too long ago. I am seeing some roots, so that's good. These were just like one leaf cuttings. I'm gonna change the view a bit so that you guys are a bit closer. I think that's good. So here she is. Oh, I forgot I had two different ones in here. So it's definitely taken to moss well. Not seeing any signs of new growth, which is fine because it's focusing on the roots. I can see that this stem here has mushed off a bit, so I am gonna get that cut off. Again, I'm super sorry if you guys can hear the noise upstairs. It's actually quite loud, but can't even be mad because honestly, I do not know how we would survive living in this apartment without our air conditioner. It is like a sauna in this apartment during the summer. It's like, it's bad. Especially if we have another heat wave like we did last summer. You do not want to be without AC. And a lot of the units in Vancouver don't come with AC just because of the kind of weather we have. So if you do want AC, you have to get it like put in yourself usually. Unless you live in like a luxury condo, which in Vancouver standards, I do not live in one of those, surprisingly. Okay, so this is looking really good actually. I don't know if this is gonna push out anything because I feel like I don't even really have a node, like I just have a leaf. But I don't know, we'll keep it anyway and see what happens. I do think I'm going to get it out of this little cup and I'm gonna still put it in moss, but I'm gonna put it in something a teeny bit smaller, maybe a vessel like this. Looking good, that was an easy one. I'm not gonna do anything with these because I actually just rehabbed these ones in another video not too long ago. As you can tell, this one is not doing wonderful, but I do think it's gonna make a comeback. It does still have healthy roots. Actually, both of these had healthy roots. I don't really know exactly what went on with them, but we're just gonna keep rehabbing it like that. This here is something. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. I can't really tell you what this is just looking at these leaves. I have no idea what it is, but sometimes moss grows these fun little grassy things, and I like to harvest them and just like stick them in my XO to give it a little bit more green. So I've got this one here. I'm just gonna go into the XO and just stick it somewhere really quick. Okay, again, I don't know what this is, but I do think this moss is a bit old. The roots do look healthy. So the roots are red, which makes me believe that this could either be maybe a Plowmanii or a Mame. Who knows? I'm honestly just so bad with labeling my props, but I kind of like that when they sprout, you're just kind of surprised. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot I propagated that. Looks like another one of the auxiliary buds are, oh, there's more. So there are multiple auxiliary buds that are activated. So here's what I'm gonna do. Just get as much moss off here as we can. I don't know if you guys can hear Pudge snoring in the background. He sounds like a lawnmower. What I'm actually gonna do is separate these two, since I've got multiple auxiliary buds. It looks like this one wants to do something too, so let me just get this cleaned up really quick. So what I'm gonna do is kind of just peel off a lot of these like old sheaths. And the reason that I do this is because when I get things into like a propagation substrate, I want the nodes to be in direct contact with the substrate, and I don't like things like this sheath blocking or like creating a barrier between the node or like the tissue of the plant and the substrate. And I just find that things root so much faster when I do this. So it's just a method that has worked for me. I know some people have been worried about, you know, like scraping off nodes and stuff like that, and that is absolutely a valid concern. I have scraped off a few nodes in my time, but it's one of those things that like I'll never be able to go back to how I did it before. Like there's no way that I would be able to like get an import and then just not thoroughly clean it and just stick it straight into the substrate. I wouldn't be able to do it now. So like all of this, see how like this sheath is blocking this brand new stem here? Like this is where all of your roots are gonna form along here. And so when you have these like dry barky sheaths that are covering it, it's like, it doesn't give it an opportunity really to push out new nodes or to push out new roots. So when you kind of uncover it and expose that tissue, it's like, oh, okay, now I can start pushing roots out. So I just like to take that off just because the sheath is not really doing anything for the plant. Of course, just keep in mind that when you are scraping your plant like this and exposing it basically like a wound, you know, it's susceptible to getting bacterial things and rot and stuff. So always make sure you're using sterile tools and make sure you're letting things callus up, make sure everything is clean and sterile. And yeah, I really have not run into too many issues since cleaning my plants like this. And it's very just therapeutic for me, honestly. I could sit here all day and just clean. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good. I've got a lot of the nodes here exposed. So now I'm just gonna chop. I have an auxiliary bud here that could potentially wake up. So, did I just knock off that profil? Whatever. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna cut right here actually. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna let this callus up, I'm gonna let this callus up, and then I will get them potted separately. I love the smell of philodendrons when they're freshly cut. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, and then I honestly don't know what this is. The roots have sort of a pinkish color, some of the newer ones. So I don't know, just based on how this chonk looks, I think it's an Ethereum. I'm not gonna touch it because I just did this one recently and of course I can't remember what it is. And then this one is actually, I think this might be my VARIEGATA mother plant stump, but this moss is old and crispy. That's nasty. That is, oh my gosh. Lots of new roots, but a lot of like dead roots up here. It's like at this point I don't even know what to cut off. They're all like intertwined and stuff. Okay, I can say that these ones are effectively dead up here. So I'm gonna chop this off. Lots of new roots coming from that one, so all right. You know what, I'm just gonna leave it, but I do want to get this into better moss. Look how tiny this stump is, but there are multiple auxiliary buds that looks like they're waking up. I think I'm just gonna try and squeeze it into this little thing. Let's see if I can cut off any more. So it's like a labyrinth. I'm just trying to feel for the dead roots like this one right here and just trim off anything that doesn't need to be attached to this. This one is also dead. Okay, so some of these like secondary roots coming off of the primary ones have completely dried up. You could actually hear the hollowness. I've really been neglecting a lot of my propagations lately just because I've had so much going on and I've given more attention to my actual plants, you know? And it happens. Sometimes like I'll just be really into my propagations and I'm so good at caring for them, and then other times I'm like, I just can't be bothered, and it feels so much like a chore to care for them. Okay, we're just gonna go with this, and I am gonna try and squeeze it into this impossibly tiny pot, but that's just because I'm running low on some of the pot sizes that I would normally use for something with this size root system, but we're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna do a little twisty action here. And then before I get the rest in here, I'm gonna pack some moss in. And then I'll twist more. And then pack in the rest. Oh my gosh, my arm is actually really hurting. My husband really wanted me to take the rest of the week off, but a week is a long time in the YouTube filming world. A week is like make or break. Like you might not have a video that is gonna go out as scheduled. And honestly, like I just don't think I could stay in bed much longer. Like my back was hurting and I was just getting anxious and fidgety, and I just can't stay in bed for long if I'm not like sleepy or just wanting to sleep. I can't just like lay there and rest and do nothing. So anywho, this thing is in here, and we made it fit. And I do think it's gonna be much happier now that it's in much better soil, or in better moss, in comparison to this dry disaster that it was living in for so long, the poor thing. Maybe let's open up some of these prop boxes. This was another plant that I rehabbed in a video recently. This one is my very sad HOYA something. so crinkly now, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it in this vessel because I actually just repotted this. Oh my gosh, I know you guys can hear that. I know you can't. Don't tell me you can't hear that. You can hear it, don't lie. I feel like a newscaster, you know, when they're trying to deliver like the weather in like a storm and they're like yelling into their mic and being blown away by like 100-mile-per-hour winds. Oh no. These ties are the death of me, dude. I will never understand it. Okay, so this was what was left of my tie constellations. This one I hollowed out like a mother. Like I was like, nope, no rot, not me, not today. So I just started hollowing it out with my tool, and surprisingly I got something to grow, and we actually even have some baby roots here. So I'm gonna get this one into its own little pot. But this poor thing, there's like springtails all over it. That's how you know they're dead. So springtails like feed on like decaying stuff, so they're not bad. I might stick some of this moss into my exos because there are springtails in here crawling around everywhere, and I kind of want more springtails in some of my greenhouses. Oh, it's squishy. Ew. Ew, let's not do that there. You can hear it. Let's see if you can hear it. Oh, that's nasty, dude. I don't even know why I'm opening this up for you guys, as if you don't know what rot looks like. Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. You want to make sure that when you are propagating stuff, if your scissor has been in contact with something like rot, you just want to get it cleaned up because you don't want some of that stuff transferring to new plants with an open wound. So this is more silver splash propagations from my sister. The main stem that it like originally propped from is like completely mushy, but the nodes pushed out growth, so that's good. I do think I'm gonna keep it in this prop bin though. I just don't know if I want to try and separate it because like there is virtually no stem on any of these nodes. Like they're so tiny. I actually think what I'm gonna do is just leave it, and hopefully it just like turns into a crisp and dies that way and doesn't actually like mush onto some of this new growth. You just have to make a call sometimes, and that just feels better for me. Okay, do I have anything else in here? So this prop bin just has some perlite down at the bottom and some moss. I actually don't think I need this much moss in here. And I'm just gonna stick this guy back and let it do its thing. I don't know what this is. Based on how this leaf looks, I wanna say, yeah, no idea. And I don't even know if this is a plant that I wanted, but like if I put it in the prop bin, then maybe, so it wouldn't hurt just to keep it. Okay, on to the next prop bin. Pudge, please. So I primarily want to get these roots into moss. I think I'll opt for another 4-inch pot. Oh my gosh, I'm not even like halfway through these props and my arm is like on fire. Let's do this, and then I'm just gonna tuck in some moss around here. But I don't want to completely cover the stem in moss just because, as you saw, they're very susceptible to rot. I just want to cover enough so that those aerial roots start to really push out some nice healthy roots. All right, so this one's good. And for those of you wondering, these little propagation boxes are actually just from a reptile store. I think these are made for like small insects and small reptiles or something. I don't know. My friend Alice got them for me at the reptile store she frequents. This is a very sad Hoya croniana that just really is, I mean, it's drifting into the afterlife. This is a Amazonica that I got from my friend Nessa, and I've been waiting. Oh my, that's rooted. I've been wanting to, I wanted to propagate these so that I can have them growing on my moss wall in my largest exo, because these are actually so beautiful. These Amazonicas, they look like if a CISSUS were an anthurium, and they're just so cool. I just don't trust myself with CISSUS enough to like buy a whole plant of it like when they were available locally, but she was nice enough to just give me a cutting, and now it's kind of taking off. I do think it's getting closer to the time where I can mount it onto my EXO wall and get it climbing on there, and then just last ditch effort to try and propagate a single node HOYA serpens. Nothing I'm gonna do in here. I'm gonna re-wet this moss though. Oh, what is in this box? Oh my. Okay, so, oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Ah! So bad. Look at that, you guys. That's so gross. I'm like afraid to touch it. There's like springtails everywhere. Oh no. That is a moldy, yucky mess. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Super mushy, super fungusy and gross. Springtails crawling all over it. Springtails are good, but they just kind of gross me out. Oh, and there's a predatory mite in there. Look, it's so fat and juicy. Aw, cutie. This moss is disgusting. A lot of the moss that I use in my prop bins are moss that I've already boiled and that have started decomposing, but I find that it works like moss, you know, in my prop bins, but it looks so gross. The only thing I was able to salvage from there is 2 of these XEROCISYOS DANGUY, which I don't even know if they're gonna do anything, to be honest. Like this one just has, like, they're both single nodes basically. Very plump and firm, haven't really rooted like that. Okay, well. And then I have this SCINDAPSUS TREUBII dark form that I've been needing to like repot and get into my bigger pot of SCINDAPSUS, which I could do today. Where is it? Where's my SCINDAPSUS? Oh, it's over there. Okay, maybe I'll do that today. I mean, this one is already nice and rooty. These ones could root a little bit more. I think what I'm gonna do is chop them. So I'm gonna chop right here. I'm gonna chop right here. And then I'll leave that. Okay. Not me getting overwhelmed for nothing. This is a funner box. In here, oh my. Okay, so if I had to take a non-educated guess, I think that this stem is a Jose Bueno, I think. Not 100% sure. Couldn't tell you. Some kind of philodendron, obviously. This one is a philodendron pink princess that I chopped from my mother plant and that I am kind of hopeful will give me variegation since the mama plant has pretty good genes. And then I think this one is a Philodendron Dark Lord, a variegated Rhaphidophora heyi that refuses to root. Like, I've had this in a prop bin for ages and it hasn't given me any roots at all. I can see some new growth happening here, which is all fine and dandy, but I'd love some root if possible. This one is something of sorts. Couldn't tell you. This one is a Philodendron gloriosum dark form. If I had to guess, I think this one is either a McDowell or a gloriosum too. Oh, look, a root. Hi. Ew, what is that? Oh, it's a leca. Okay, nobody panic. Thought it was an egg. Ugh, gross. Just even the name egg. Like this, the word egg, it just bothers me so much. There is like way too much moss in here, and for what? I think that this one is fine. I don't want to mess with this one. Knowing me and a single brand new root, if I do anything to it, it's toast. I'm just gonna knock it right off with my big fingers. This one, again, couldn't tell you what it is, but you know. I'm obviously not banking on this nasty thing of a chunk to give me any roots, but I want to keep it as healthy as possible so that I can get some nice roots from here. And on that note, I do think I'm gonna try and scrape off some of this gunk here to expose some of it more to the moss. And hopefully this will encourage some roots to form right here. Feeling good about that. So you can see I've exposed some of that tissue now, and hopefully we can get some roots on it. What I am going to do is cover this one a bit more with moss up here, and hopefully that wakes this little nub up to do something. Do I wanna? Okay, well obviously this root here is dead, so let's just chop that off. I'm almost contemplating chopping these into 3 nodes because I do have 3 axillary buds. We've got one right here that's already starting to wake up, and then this one. But I do worry about really small nodes like this because it does have the tendency to rot. Like, I don't know. I think I'll wait for this one to really wake up, and then we'll reassess from there. Okay, cool. So this I literally almost called it an Xbox, and my camera's overheating. Perfect. I'm getting a little overwhelmed here because it's getting messy, but we're gonna just keep powering on, and I'm not gonna worry about it. But my arm is getting increasingly sore, so I do think I need to wrap this up fairly quickly. Just keep in mind, you guys, Wednesday videos are going to be much shorter than the normal Saturday videos because I'm still putting in most of my energy and time into the Saturday videos. But I did want to get this done, so in a way, the Wednesday videos kind of give me a chance to do things that I normally would put off. Anyway, this is a reverted Florida Beauty from Alice that I don't know what to tell you. Something happened here and we gotta figure it out. Ugh. Beautiful, beautiful, bravo, 10 out of 10. This is gonna be so fun to take out. I'm really excited for this moment. I am not regretting my life decisions right now. So we're just gonna untangle here as best as we can. I hate drainage holes. I hate them. I just don't like them. They're nothing but a headache. Mind you, this is 100% the consequence of my own laziness. So I'm not blaming the drainage holes, but just repotting things without drainage is so much easier than having to deal with this bull. Okay. Ow, my arm. I bet you I'm gonna be more sore tomorrow, and I'm gonna fully regret forcing myself filming today. This moss is 100% decomposing. I'll just put it into my EXO for bedding. That's what I'll do. Because that's what I do anyway. I don't really ever put like brand new moss into my EXOs unless I really don't have any moss to put in there. But I'll say that like probably 80% of the moss used in the bedding of my EXOs are from moss that has started to decompose or is just really old and yucky that I wouldn't use for my plants anymore. Okay, so we're gonna just try and take this out. I don't want to break this one off. Oh no. Oh no. Ow, I have no strength in my left hand. That doesn't seem like a good idea. And then, what's going on here, buddy? Oh, it's tangled. Gosh. No! Okay, well that ripped off. I can't be bothered. Okay, let's just get this guy into soil and call it a day on that one. Ow, my arm, my arm. I think I'm gonna do some landscape fabric at the bottom of that. I am just so lazy these days. Like, do everything half-assed, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm getting increasingly more anxious with all of this stuff around me. I feel so crowded. Okay, let's just cut some landscape fabric to fit the bottom of this pot here. And the reason I'm doing landscape fabric is because just based on the roots, it likes to clearly swim downward. So I don't want to deal with that situation again with the roots being yanked out of the drainage hole. So I would much rather have landscape fabric that can allow water to still freely pass through the bottom than, yeah, have to deal with that root stitch again. I'm just gonna put this down at the bottom like that, and then I'm gonna fill it with soil. To be honest, I should probably get this one on a lazy pole already, but I don't know if I have it in me. Kind of got a nice, more mature leaf here, and then it's kind of reverting again, so I don't know. I feel like it'll be happy in being in some actual substrate now, so let's just call it what it is now. I'm not gonna do a lazy pole, I just don't have it in me. Okay. What else do I have in this frickin'? Can you guys honestly tell I have been neglecting my plants so bad. This thing is crispier than French fries. Oh my word. This moss is still good, so I don't want to mix and mingle with the old moss. Oh my god. Oh, I was just gonna say I have no idea what this is, but I know exactly what this is. This is an Anthurium vitarifolium. And it's still green here, so you can see it's still alive, but there are so many things happening on this root system that really should not be. So I'm gonna start cleaning it up a bit. All of this right here is dead, so we're gonna just chop right here. This is dead. Ah! This looks like hay. Why am I screaming? Ooh, look what we've got over there. I don't know if that's... No, I don't know what that is. That's dead. So this one here is nice and firm. So we're gonna hold on to that one for dear life. This one is dead. These are like hollow. I don't know if you guys can hear Pudge snoring, but he sounds like a vacuum cleaner now. So funny. Okay, so I think that's about as much as I'm gonna chop off Ew. But where's my chunk scraper? Hello, where are you? Oh, come on. This is a disaster. I know it was here. Here it is. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up a bit because it's looking a little nasty. Typically after a chunk cleaning, I'd like to soak it in some hydrogen peroxide, but I don't have any. So I'm just gonna be using some regular water to get it cleaned off. This is one of my favorite parts, is seeing all the little chunklets coming off of it. And it's way more satisfying when you have hydrogen peroxide because it gets really bubbly and really gets it clean. Now we can actually see a stem, which is good. And I should have done this when I first took it home, but honestly, it looked like such a mess that I couldn't even be bothered with it. Let's let this chill out for a bit, and then I'm gonna get it repotted. Okay, what else? Oh, my arm. So this is an EPIPREMNUM PINNATUM ALBO VARIEGATA. This one is the one that I got from my friend Rob. I don't even know how it's still alive based on how much I've neglected it, but this is the one that throws a white leaf and then a half moon leaf and then a white leaf, half moon every other. It's pretty incredible, but the leaves don't last very long. The white ones anyway. How do we feel about this moss? This moss looks all right. So let's get you with this one. It was in soil before, which is what you're looking at down here. And then it rotted and then I put it back into moss to rehab. But I think what I'm going to finally do once and for all for this one is to get it on a lazy pole, just because I think that's the one thing it's looking for. It's just looking for something to kind of hold on to. I am going to keep this in moss because this root situation is pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. But not all hope is lost. Here is what I'm going with. I think I'm gonna go with a 4-inch pot. Perfect. And I have some net from another lazy pole that I can reuse for this one because it should be the perfect height. I think what I want to try, do I want to try something new here? Here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to take my awl, not my awl. I'm gonna poke a little hole right here, really close to the lip of the pot, like this. Like, oh, okay, like that. And then I'm gonna take this lazy pole, I'm gonna put it right at the edge of the pot, and then I'm gonna take, hey, where did my thing go? I just had it. What the? Did you guys see where it went? I just had this little, oh, it's right here. Gosh, this is why I don't like mess. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this little tie here, and I'm gonna go like this. Oh my gosh, Pudge is snoring. So I've poked it through like that, and then I'm just going to fasten it by tying it as tight as I can. And then I'll just try and tuck it in so that it's like secure to the pot like that. Hopefully this is a better view now. I'm gonna fall off this chair. So I'm gonna just tilt it down like this, or you can rest on something. And I'm gonna just start packing some moss. You know what? It's the wrong way. I wanted this to be up against here, so start over. We're gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna take my tie, which I probably should have grabbed already. I need to pick up some more plant ties. I think I wanna try and find some black ones because they look pretty sleek. And then I'm just gonna anchor it like this to the pole. You don't have to do it super tight, just enough to kind of fasten it on there. And then I'll fill the rest with some moss here. Hopefully this one does a lot better than it's been doing. I am gonna just stick it back in the XO though, but I do think what it needed was a pole, and I've just been putting it off for so long. Fingers crossed. Let's do this Philodendron ERNESTII, which is the cutest little thing. You cannot tell me this is not adorable. It started as like the tiniest little chunk, and then it actually gave me like lobes and everything, and it wanted to be a big boy. So that's really sweet. I do see some roots, which is good. Haven't really checked on this chunk in a, oh, it's long, my goodness. Okay, was not expecting that. I don't know if I want to chop this even more or just freaking leave it. I don't really want more ERNESTIs, to be honest, and the only reason that I would propagate it is to have something to trade, but just gauging the market locally of what people are looking for, I don't really think anyone wants ERNESTII or would want to trade anything for an ERNESTII. So I'm not even gonna bother. I'd rather just keep my plant intact and enjoy my plant rather than stress it out more. But yeah, those are things that I definitely keep in mind when I'm propagating. I don't sell much these days anymore just because, I don't know, I don't really like dealing with random buyers and trying to not give my address out as much as possible now, because I used to just do it willy-nilly all the time. Peel back this sheath here. Do I want to make another lazy pole? Do I? What's the game plan here? I've decided I am gonna lazy pole it. Might as well, since we're already here. Doesn't need to be this tall though. Don't want to pack it in too tightly. And then I'm going to pack some behind here. ERNESTII is done. It's actually so nice looking in my tent now and seeing things on actual poles. I feel so accomplished. Who is she? All right, let's figure out what is going on with this crunchy ass propagation. Oh my Lanta. How this thing is still alive, I don't know. I can't even tell you guys how long I have had this. I can't even tell you how long. I don't know why I just... Did you guys just see what I did right now? I just poured that water into that pot for no absolute reason. That's concerning. I think that this is a gloriosum propagation, possibly with very crunchy roots. Oh my goodness, poor thing. I feel like I should just start over and just chop off all of these roots. That is one reason why I don't like propagating in pots with drainage, and especially the ones with the slits. I've started to slowly convert a lot of my propagations out of them because the moss just dries out so freaking fast. Sometimes I find it a lot easier to, if I am gonna put it in these pots, I'll add leca down at the bottom and then put like a cover pot and then add some water inside so the leca wicks it up, but that's just way too much for a propagation. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna chop off all of the roots on this poor little chunk, and then I'm just gonna stick this in one of my prop boxes with the rest of my other propagations. I might clean up this stem a little bit to see if I can get some of that tissue exposed to like maybe encourage some growth. This is looking pretty pruny. Pretty pruny. Where do I keep putting my... Oh, here. I'm not really banking on this chunk to do anything because it's like, I can guarantee you if I chop this sucker in half, it's gonna be like hollow. I really am going to rely on this tiny little piece of stem right here to push something out for me. So that's where I want to kind of expose some of the tissue. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm just gonna stick it in with my little silver stripe props. All right, so the last thing that I really have to do is to get some of these repotted that is now buried under here. So I have this SCINDAPSUS TREUBII black that has the longest root. I have a random something, I'm guessing a philodendron. Come on, where are you? It's a scavenger hunt. Another SCINDAPSUS. I feel like there were two, oh here and here. Okay, so this one I think I can just put back into a cup. I don't even think you guys realize how triggered I am by this mess. And this is why, like, ever since I got these potting mats, it is always on my table, because if this was just on my desk, I would be having a full-fledged, like, breakdown. Go like this, and I think I'm gonna try and keep it as surface as possible. I don't want to bury it completely, because I want those growth points to be able to push out and not be obstructed by the substrate. And then for this one, I think we can get into one of these little cups. This guy is in there. And then, I don't know what I want to do about these. Okay, so I think this one still needs to go in a prop box because the root isn't long enough for me to transfer it to my other SCINDAPSUS pot, but I think that this one might be, so I'll do that on camera. But then I think I'll stick these two back into the prop box that they were in before. Oh, I need to get this Vittarifolium back into something. Ow, my arm. I feel like I'm tucking them into sleep. Good night, buddy. I've been wanting to repot this SCINDAPSUS for a while, so I guess now's the time. there is not nearly enough perlite in there. But the roots look good-ish. Got a little bit of rot, just a little bit. And I think it's just that pond was just way too dense. I like to add a lot of perlite to my pond just because I find pond to be really, really heavy. But otherwise, not too bad. I have some clean pond here. Let's get it into a nicer vessel. Kind of like the idea of doing a dark pot for this SCINDAPSUS. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, well, it's not the greatest, but it'll do for now. So yeah, I think that is it for me today. Thank you for watching another Wednesday video. If you like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up because it helps with our visibility a lot on YouTube. And I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you to everyone who's been here from the beginning, all of the new subscribers, and I will see you in the next one.